Well, hello there. So for something just a little bit different, I wanted to talk about filming your needle felting. Now, whenever I have tried to video my needle felting, I've always got the camera coming over my shoulder. So it's like looking at the work coming down on an angle. And that's fine, and that gives a pretty good idea about what I do, how I do it, and if I'm trying to teach somebody, it's a really good way of capturing the process. But I was looking for a way of, could I get a point of view, a POV, point of view video view, which means what I'm looking at, could I capture that in a video in any way? And if you put that into AI, it'll usually come back with put the camera looking over your shoulders, so as if the camera's coming down that way, which is all very well and good, but because your head moves around so much, inevitably you're actually getting your head in the way of the filming. So I've tried a couple of things. I tried a camera, it's called a point of view camera, and it's designed for things like snowboarding and motorcycling and biking and that kind of thing. And it actually just hangs around your neck. It like magnetizes, the camera magnetizes to approximately about here. And I thought, oh, this is great. This will be what I want. And it had a stabilizer inside it, which meant it would eliminate a lot of the shake that goes on. But if you could imagine, if the camera's here, it's kind of, and it was actually kind of pointing up a little bit on an angle, so it would end up sort of pointing up this way, which wasn't very good. So unless I could like attach the point of view camera to here, which I actually haven't tried, but I could give that a go, I couldn't see a way of actually using that to my advantage. So I've been very fortunate to have been loaned these Ray-Ban Meta glasses. So I'll show you what they look like. Get them out of the packet here. They actually just look like normal glasses, albeit the frames are actually quite thick, but that is actually quite trendy at the moment. So, you know, if you're worried about fashion, then I wouldn't worry too much. And the camera is actually here. So when I wear it, it will capture, it will literally be a point of view looking straight at the work. Now, one of the first obvious disadvantages here is I wear glasses when I'm needle felting. So you watch, I can put these over the top of the glasses, but that's kind of what they're going to look like. Now, apparently you can get prescription lenses put inside these Ray-Ban glasses, so if you're going to use it long term or walk around with them, you could actually do that. So let's give it a go. This is actually the first time that I've tried filming my work with these glasses, so you and I are both going to see this at the same time, and we'll figure out whether it's a good thing by the end of it. And by the way, this is a new piece that I'm working on, as yet unnamed, but it's for a collection of larger works that I'm doing about New Zealand, the Aotearoa New Zealand countryside, and our beautiful sheep that are within. So come with me, let's have a look and see what we can see through these Ray-Ban Meta glasses. All right, so I've got the glasses recording, and let's see. So one thing I'm going to be looking at when I analyze whether these glasses are good or not is the amount of movement that goes on, because obviously my head looks around, you know, I'm looking down here, I want to blend some of this fiber. So I don't even know if I'm completely looking at the fiber here, but I'm just going to do this naturally how I would normally work, and let's see how much this actually captures of what I am doing. So yeah, I looked down to put the fiber down on the ground, and let's use this here. So I'm kind of figuring my head actually doesn't move a lot, but then I'll look down, pick up some more fiber, come back. Okay, so it seemed that the firmware in the glasses wasn't as up to date as possible, so I've updated that, and it looks like that now we have 3 minutes worth of video time and increased stabilization. So let's have a little look and see if that's made any difference to the quality of the videoing here. So we're going to, and again I can see that my head is not moving, naturally not moving, you know, a lot. And I'm going to trust that it's not going to turn off after a minute. Oh, here's hoping anyway. Hard to tell. It's hard to tell if a minute has passed. But anyway, so let's look down. I'm going to look down. We're just going to, oops, drop everything. Alright, so I think it feels like it should have been over a minute by now. Apparently before the firmware was updated you could have set it on 30-60 seconds, and I didn't know that, so that's okay. So we've got, this is on the highest definition at the 3-minute setting. Alright, I'm going to turn that off now and come back and we'll make some comments. Okay, well that was super interesting. So I don't know about you, but I was actually feeling a little bit motion sick just watching those videos. So it was a good test, but I will not be using the Ray-Ban Meta glasses to film any of my point of views. Now it was actually a really good view, like you got a good view of those of what I was doing. It was brilliant, but the motion sickness was actually, it is not going to work. So and the other interesting difference is I really couldn't see much in the difference in quality between the original settings and the new settings after the firmware was updated. So that didn't make much better. And I know I could put that footage into something like Premiere Pro and work on the stabilization, but honestly, I don't think that's gonna get it to the point where I would be happy with it. So I will just continue with this this angled over the shoulder view for my videos going forward. But if you have any, I'd love to hear others' input. What are you doing to film your work, and are you getting a really good result from a point of view filming? I'd love to hear it. Have you got some contraptions, some boom operations going, some gooseneck heads that are working for you? Please, you know, I'd love to hear what you're doing and even see what you're doing and see some of the video if you can share that. All right, well, all the best. Thank you for joining me in this test and have a great rest of your day.